magic lands. A band of heroes marches on. A sword in hand and armor shining. They tread upon the path unknown. In the quest for destiny we stand. Through darkness and fire we'll prevail. Together we'll conquer, we'll never fall. In the world of adventure we shall never fail. Sitting round the table, candles flickering low. Imagination runs wild, our spirits start to glow. Ooh yeah. A roll of the dice, a story yet untold. With every adventure, we're heroes brave and bold. We're the heroes of the dice, fighting dragons in our minds. Through the realms of fantasy, our souls are intertwined. With pen and paper we create our destiny. Tabletop role playing, where legends come to be. Ooh. In a world of fantasy, where dragons soar high, we gather round the table under a starlit sky. With swords and spells, with an oath on the breast, guided by imagination, we're heroes are blessed. Oh yeah, roll the dice with me, let the story unfold. For dungeons and dragons, we'll find a pot of gold. With every battle won, every dragon slain, we'll become legends, forever we'll reign. In the depths of dungeon, we gather round. The fellowship united, our spirits bound. With imagination soaring, and stories to create, we venture forth, our destiny awaits. Roll the dice, let the adventure begin. From the dragons we slay, to the treasures we gain. Through the lands of fantasy, we bravely ride. In this world of make-believe, we come alive. In the realm of dragons and knights, we gather around the firelight. With character sheets and magic spells, our imaginations burst from their cells. Roll the dice, let the story unfold. We're warriors and wizards brave and bold. In a world of fantasy, we come alive. Tabletop role playing, where legends survive. The lands of mystic gold, where heroes dead and wrong, a tale unfolds of power and glory etched in stone. With dice in hand, we gather round the table wide to embark on a journey through realms far and wide. We are the chosen warriors.
I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. Tonight we're talking about Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition and 1st edition. The first two editions of the game that brought everything together. I hope you guys enjoyed that intro video I put together with a lot of AI stuff. Let me introduce the Tiger who's joining me tonight. And we'll get like this.
Meowdy, meowdy, meowdy. How is you all?
Hope everybody's doing good tonight. So far in the chat, we've got Ray, who may or may not be here. He said he was going to be trying to be here all the time. Bobby Catalillo, how you doing? Good to see you. We've been chatting a little bit. And Ed Cool Gamer, hi there, bud. So what I kind of wanted to do with this live stream was talk some about what AD&D is, where it comes from, what it means to me, and Tiger will throw in her opinions as well. I'm going to show a lot of books. I have most of AD&D 1st and 2nd edition hardback rule books. I think I'm missing like 3 or 4. I have all the covers in a video I'm going to show here in just a minute to get us into it, and then I'm going to actually talk about each book, what it means to the game, and then we'll kind of talk about how that all led into Tiger and I creating Lenharrow. So what I'm going to start with is, I know I just played that video, but you know what I'm going to do first to put a little bit of time in between that is let Tiger show off some neat minis that she's got this week. Yeah, I'll put you up on the screen there, Tiger.
Okay, so I love those little Dungeons and Dragons boxes where you get like random miniatures. So I got one that was Chris's favorite campaign world. It's called Ravenloft, which is kind of like a horror setting. So first we got this little vampire chick. She has a name, Tatiana or something like that, I'm not sure. Or Tanyana, or I can't pronounce it, I'm not good with that.
You want to say hi to Superior Cyber Godzilla?
Hey, Superior Cyber Godzilla, whose name is a oh hey Jess! I mean whose name is wait, what do you call it? Tongue Twister. Anyway, so I got that one, and then this really great skeletal archer came in there. Yeah, that's a pretty cool dude there. And then they call this guy a Strigoi, but he doesn't look like a traditional Strigoi. So to me and Chris, this kind of looks like a Sturge, man. Like if they took the D&D monster Sturge and turned him into a anthropomorphic creature, that's what this guy looks like to me, is a Sturge man. And then we got a big one. The unspeakable horror. Look at this thing. Whoa. It's like some kind of undead plant thing. It's like truly monstrous. Look at this thing. It's got spikes everywhere. And I found out its eyeballs are right here. Look, on his little tentacle thing right here. Look at that. Not on his creepy old face. He's got no face. Look at that. Ooh. Anyway. So that's what I got in my blind box minis of Ravenloft, and I want to try to see about getting more of those because those are cool. If my cute honey will let me have some.
As we get going here, we'll at the last we'll talk about a lot of the various different AD&D campaigns a little bit too. I don't have a lot to show off for that, but there is some in this intro video that I'm going to play for you right now if I can make sure I found it. Here it is.
The realm of magic dragons, a band of heroes marches on. The sword in hand and armor shining, they tread upon the path unknown. In the quest for destiny we stand, in darkness and fire we'll prevail. Together we'll conquer, we'll never fall. In the world of adventure we shall never fail. In the depths of dungeon we gather round, the fellowship united, our spirits bound. with imagination soaring, as long as to create, we venture forth, our destiny awaits. Roll the dice, let the adventure begin. From the dragons we slay to the treasures we gain. Through the lands of fantasy, we bravely ride. In this world of make-believe, we come alive. In the realm of dragons and knights, we gather around the firelight with character sheets and magic spells. Our imaginations burst from their cells. Roll the dice, let the story unfold. We're warriors, the wizards brave and bold. In a world of fantasy, we come alive. Tabletop role-playing, where legends survive. Sitting round the table, candles flicking low. Imagination runs wild, our spirits start to glow. Ooh, yeah. A roll of the dice, a story that unfolds. With every adventure, we're heroes brave and bold. We're the heroes of the dice, fighting dragons in our minds. Through the realms of fantasy, our souls are intertwined. With pen and paper, we create our destiny. Tabletop role-playing, where legends come to be. Ooh. In a world of fantasy, where dragons soar, we gather round the table under a star-lit sky, with swords and spells, with an oath on the breast, guided by imagination, we're heroes of the land. Oh yeah, roll the dice with me, let the story unfold. Through dungeons and dragons, we'll find our pot of gold. With every battle won and every dragon slain, we'll become legends, forever we'll reign.
And for God's sakes, this is advanced, Mark.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome intro. That was my tribute video to AD&D itself, and that'll be posted on our channel at 8 later on tonight, pretty much after this, but around 8 p.m. Mountain Time. So that should be pretty cool. Welcome, Milsorian. Nice to see you, buddy. Glad you could join us. We're talking about AD&D tonight, and we're going to look at some books and talk about how the system kind of works and what they have to offer. Everybody's just saying hi still. So much more in the books. You should check them out. I agree, Tiger. Ray saying hi to Jess. Okay, so we're going to start with the first AD&D book ever put out, and that was The Monster Manual. This actually came out in 1978, if I remember correctly. I'm going to look real quick because 77 and 78 is when this came out. Now, this was made to go with the original white box D&D set that had these little digest size rule books, and they were really meant to go with a system called Chainmail. That was a war game, which was made to be used with miniatures, which is why it's really cool that Tiger actually added some minis to this. And we're glad you could join us, Ray. Appreciate you being here, bud. Now, the monster manual basically was just a collection of monsters, and Gygax kind of updated the rules for it and put it into this nice, handy little volume so that dungeon masters could just throw monsters at their players. Let's see what we got going on here. Saying hi, and then we got Jess saying I will try, and I've seen a few D&D movies, but I thought they could have been better. I agree. Now I liked each one in their own ways and for different reasons.
We got a new person jumped in too.
We do. That's an intellectual quandary. Is his name is Iman. Hello, buddy. How you doing? He basically he tuned in from Yo Geek.
Nice.
Who we check out quite often. Let's see, ice cream. I like ice cream. Let's see. And everybody saying hi, which is nice. Anyway. It was nice that they could collect this so that DMs could just have quick references to all the monsters that the system offered. Now, I'm going to start putting these down on the floor until I have some space here. Then they brought out the Player's Handbook shortly thereafter in '79. This was pretty cool. It introduced the 4 basic human classes. And then they deviated a little bit because they allowed some of the demi-humans, elves, dwarves, and gnomes and halflings to be some of the other classes too. So it was kind of cool. Now the 4 basic classes were cleric, thief, magic user or mage, and fighter. Originally, they didn't even have thief in the system. Thief was added in one of the supplements before this came out, so they were able to include it in here along with the monk and the assassin are in here as well. Also in the Dungeon Master's Guide, they also had they had an optional class of the Bard, but it was kind of a difficult class to play because you had to be all sorts of these different classes, and then you moved up into being a Bard, and it was a little confusing, but it was kind of cool. This is still one of the greatest Dungeon Master guides or referee guides that they've ever produced. The advice in this book is worth it for any starting or even experienced game master. Also, there is a random dungeon generator in here that's really awesome and inspired the one that we put in our Lenharrow Encounters guide for Lenharrow. Let me see. Everybody's still saying hi. Bard of all trades. That's kind of what it was, Ray. Because it was way different from what they presented in the 2nd edition version of the game. But this is before they even called this 1st edition. It was just Advanced Dungeons and Dragons or Advanced D&D, as it says up here on the little yellow sidebar, little tab it has up here. Pretty cool. These books are really, really old, but they are solid and still hold up to this day really well. And you could throw anything you want in here, Tiger. I actually have 2 of those because I
don't know anything about those particular books. I never got to play with them.
I have a couple of these. The one 1st edition book with these kind of covers that I don't have was Deities and Demigods. I did have a copy, but it didn't have the full list of deities and stuff in it. So I ended up selling it because I was going to pick up the one that had everything in it that got recalled. They had Cthulhu and Melnibonian mythos, which for legal purposes they had to take out. Which that's still one of the most valuable AD&D books that you can come across. Cheater spells, psionics. Yeah, I kind of agree. I'm not a big psionics guy, but Dark Sun really doubled down on the psionics, and it was an interesting campaign, that's for sure. Let me see. Tiger, I was meaning to ask where you got your mask, and is it comfortable? She responded with, got it in Walmart and at Halloween and painted stripes on it. Yes, Tiger does some really good paint work. Now, the reason why I have 2 of these is because this is a British import, and it was the only one of its kind back in the day. It's a monster manual, basically. Like the monster manual, it has a collection of different monsters. And the reason why I kept this one is because somebody went through and colored all the art. And it's kind of, I just thought it was neat the way somebody did that. And I wanted to show the kind of the difference And the reason why I have two, because in the regular volume, it's just black and white like this. And if you don't even know that what you're looking at, you're thinking, hey, these pictures are in color, but they weren't. And that was this one, along with Deities and Demigods. Those were the first 5 books that AD&D had to offer. Now, they revamped all the covers, and they rebrought the Monster Manual out, I think in 83 is when they did this. And so they've got a brand new cover to the Monster Manual. It's the same book, same stats and everything, just brand new cover. I thought it was really cool updated cover. Same with the Players Handbook. I have a couple of those. It's always nice to have a couple of Players Handbooks, so your players can use it. But I really like this Players Handbook cover. It's really cool. But my favorite update was the Dungeon Master's Guide. I got a couple of those too. But this is what they use for the updated DM screen. And I like this pick. I use it for my Endless Quest books too. It's a really cool picture. And same book, just brand new cover.
Oh, sorry.
And the Deities and Demigods, when they revamped it, they didn't have the Meldabonin and Cthulhu. And so I already had one of these, so I was going to try to get the complete original Deities and Demigods. This is all the same information without the Meldabonin and Cthulhu, just they rebranded it as Legends and Lore, which I actually like the change of the name. Still pretty good. Deity and Demigods was still, I think the reason why they did that is because it was D&D, Deities and Demigods, and this is Legends and Lore, and you could call it L&L. You know, they did different things for different reasons back then. And so when they rebranded it, they added a new monster manual. And so the Monster Manual 2 just added a bunch of new monsters to the game system.
I don't remember seeing that
Dungeon
book.
Masters use. What's that?
I said I don't remember seeing that book.
You know, this particular book is why I have a pet peeve about hardback books. And Ray's saying, oh, I recognized it and thought it was used as the Endless Quest cover. They may have, I don't think so, but I used it for my thumbnail, that's for sure. Now, I don't know if you can see it on here, but somebody decided to use this as a clipboard, and there's actually a map drawn onto this cover, an impression of it, and I was like, it ticked me off. I'm like, man, I can't believe it. It was probably me, to be honest.
That's Chris's pet peeve. He gets so mad if you.
I don't like it when people use books as I don't like it when people use books as clipboards.
Serious. The first time I did that, he yelled at me. It was crazy.
I
don't write that hard, by the way. Anytime I write on a book, it does. Yeah, you did. And anytime I write on something, it does not go through the paper, and it does not go on the book cover. I don't have a heavy hand.
Yes, Ray says sacrilege. Probably my most used AD&D book was Unearthed Arcana, and this was actually a supplement for the players guide. And what this book included was included new classes. I'm not sure if it did new races, but it added an ability stat which nobody ever used called Comeliness, which basically kind of replaced charisma in a lot of ways. But it added some classes. It added, the Cavalier, which was kind of a knight, and they made Paladin a subclass of that because they included Paladin. I forgot to mention those about the player's guide. They included Paladin and Ranger and Druid in the player's guide too.
Ranger's my favorite.
And so they added the Cavalier, and
I love Cavaliers too.
And Barbarian was another one they added in here.
I'm kind of sad they didn't have the Cavalier in the.
Well, the reason why they did this because the Cavalier and Barbarian were really overpowered, or OP, as people like to say. Now they also added the Thief Acrobat. Now, if you've ever watched the cartoon, they had one of each of these in the cartoon. They had a Cavalier, Acrobat, and a Barbarian. The other thing that this book added a lot more spells, and I'm pretty sure this is where they introduced cantrips for the first time, which are little like mini spells that clerics could use. Yeah, let's see here, not clerics. I mean mages could use. And let me see. Yes,
cantrips are cool.
It's where they first introduced cantrips, right here. Which there were 0-level spells basically that a wizard could just use.
We love cantrips so much, we came up with quick spells.
Yeah, we added to something. We like the idea, but the concept to me needed a little more. And Ray says he had Unearthed Arcana and Oriental Adventures. I'm getting to that, but I have that one too. Let me see. Both cool books, I agree. And bam, bam, yeah. Anyway, there was something else that was really cool in the Unearthed Arcana that I wanted to show you guys. And it was the, and I probably have gone way past it because it should be over here. Yeah, armor class and weapons. There was a list of pole arms in here. And they love their pole arms. I don't know why. Maybe it was, yep, here we go. And they went into really intense detail in this book about pole arms. It's probably best to show them like that. It showed you the sizes and lengths and everything and how they compared to each other. And you think that was enough? They did it more. They had multiple pages of pole arms in this book.
They wanted to show their sizes, guys. Look
like
at
I said,
all those different sizes and
they compared them. It was pretty cool. And what was the type of historical? And I just kind of wanted to show that. Now, this book I used so much I had to tape it together. It's just one of those that, was a well-used book. I even used it when they started to do AD&D. Hello,
Your
Victor.
buddy
How you
joined
doing, bud?
us.
Yes, sir, Victor. How you doing? We're talking AD&D books. And so, like Ray called it, the next book in the series was Oriental Adventures.
Together.
Now, this book was just pretty cool. I mean, see, Dave Cook was saying the other day that Gary Gygax was a big polearm fan. Yeah, yes, he was. And Unearthed Arcana shows that because that was pretty much the last book that Gygax did for AD&D or D&D in general. He may have done like modules and stuff that he was putting out, but as far as a rule book, this has his name on it, but this is really a Zeb Cook book. I mean, there were a lot of hands in here. It says Gary Gygax with David Cook, Franco Marcella Frodeval. I probably butchered that French name, but if you read this and you read second edition, you can see a lot of the inspiration for second edition came from this book. They reorganized the strength, dex, and con and everything into they have physical and mental abilities in different sections. It's kind of cool.
Hey, Chris, can I have a key render ride?
We'll see about that. Let's see. Victor says he's doing okay, just trying to get used to the new internet service. Yeah, I hear you on that. Let's see. No, sorry. It says a polearm creep was Gygax. That may be true, but yeah, he did get us with a lot of polearms. Hey, Pro Master, yes. Right. Oriental Adventures actually introduced a lot of new classes and races. There was a race in here called Spirit Folk that was kind of like an elf, but not exactly. And yeah, this creature right here is what they call the Key Rid, which is kind of like a dragon. Oh, this was actually a dragon horse.
No,
they added that in here too. So yeah, they had monsters in here too that were unique just to Oriental Adventures, and the classes in here were really interesting. They had the wizard was called a Wu Jian, and there was a lot of really interesting stuff in here. So High was a cleric. They had something in here called a Kensai that was like beyond a swordsman, and it was a little overpowered. And then, so when they didn't ever redo this book, but it was so well done that they didn't have to redo this for the second edition, and it was pretty much compatible with it because it was written by the same guy who wrote second edition. I know, like I said, it has Gary Gygax's name on it, and he probably oversaw everything, but for the most part.
Hey, Chris, we got someone new.
Oh, yeah, it's Rev Rat's Rides. Hey, buddy. How you doing, Rev? Nice to see you. Just talking about AD&D tonight, what these books mean to the system, and when I get to second edition, when they clean it up, I'll talk a lot more about it, because a lot of these books, everything that was really good in some of these older first edition books, they put it in the second edition. The Dungeoneer's Survival Guide added a bunch of things on how to spelunk and explore. And I'm pretty sure this is the book that introduced non-weapon proficiencies. I don't know if that's what they call them in here, but that's this. They had a lot of those kind of we call them talents that a player just kind of knew how to do. Let's see. Everybody still saying hi? That's cool. Yeah. And right after that, of course, they brought out a Wilderness Survival Guide. Now, the ones I'm having a hard time finding in this series of books is these also came, not only did they come sold like this, but they also came in a 2-pack with an adventure module. and I have a hard time finding the adventure modules that came with those. So I don't even know where they are. And a lot of people go, "What?" They don't even know what I'm talking about. But I remember seeing them in the store. They were packed with a module specifically written for the Dungeoneer Survival Guide and the Wilderness Survival Guide. Let's see.
That's cool.
Victor saying, "Hey Chris, I have my old books right next to me." Yes, sir. I generally have these pretty close to me most of the time, and I don't even use them that much anymore. But I still love to look at them. They're just some of these covers are really awesome. I really thought this was an interesting idea. They brought out this manual of the planes, and I love this so much that I would just take this book and open it and roll random adventure. I'd play random adventures just through the planes, and it was really a lot of fun. Showing off your, what was that, the unspeakable horror?
Well, you had an ugly monster on. I had to put my ugly monster on.
Yeah, this is true. I see Rev says the last time he played any serious games was when he was doing White Wolf LARPing. Well, that's kind of interesting. White Wolf LARPing. I haven't heard of that one, but that would be cool. White Wolf did a lot of stuff like Vampire and
I'm too
Werewolf,
lazy for LARPing.
Mage. White Wolf was an interesting system, but I thought they rolled too many dice in it. Now, the last book in the first edition run they brought out was Greyhawk Adventures. And I thought this was an interesting idea because they did Oriental Adventures, but that was kind of like a theme. Like it was like an Oriental theme. This was actually campaign specific, and it had a lot of new stuff for different spells and went into deities a lot for specifically for the Greyhawk game. Very cool. Let's see. Victor says, "Hey Rev, I used to do some werewolf LARPing at cons." That's cool. That is very cool. Now this was by James M. Ward, who was one of their main editors at the time, and Gygax is the one who created the Greyhawk Adventures campaign. It was the first campaign to be introduced, but the first campaign to be played, from what I understand in history, is Blackmore, which was Dave Arnton, who helped create the D&D system with Gary Gygax. All right, so that will take us to the second edition. What made I forgot to mention that what made the Greyhawk Adventures unique? It was the only hardback book that was specifically designed to be compatible with those both first and second edition. Conversion was a little difficult to change your characters from first to second edition, but virtually the game was played exactly the same. I mean, there were some little rules, different variants and variations, but by then people were mostly doing house rules anyway, so it really didn't matter. And that's kind of when I came on to the AD&D scene. I was basically a BECB or BX player, but this book right here got me into playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
That's the book.
And they cleaned everything up, and you had your 7 basic races and your main classes, and they really they cleaned up the system so well that they took let's see, it's a Sweet Victor. I did the local vampire guild, and let's see, you got a haircut? Yes, sir, I did. I had to. It was getting in my eyes, and I'm like, I just don't like it in my eyes anymore. I have long hair when I was younger, but I can't stand it now that I'm older. Thanks for
I don't know
noticing.
how the kids do it.
What they did in second edition was they took the classes, and they had 4 basic class groups. They had warrior, they had wizard, they had priest, and they had rogue. And in the warrior class, you had your fighter, your ranger, and your paladin. And they did away with the barbarian, the cavalier, and the monk, and the assassin, which was in the first edition player's handbook, which I forgot to mention. A lot of people don't even realize about the assassin, because that class was kind of ridiculous. You had a percentage where you could just kill people outright. And so I don't know. I never really got into it, but I love the monk, and I really like the barbarian. Cavalier, it had its good points and bad points, and I didn't use the class, and I allowed my players to play it even in second edition. Let's see, when you were playing, Rev says we met every Saturday outside the mall while the theater played live action Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's cool. I've never actually seen a live action Rocky, but I would love to. I know some places they still do it. Rocky Horror Picture Show was definitely an interesting an interesting, interesting movie, that's for sure. Tim Curry is definitely one of my favorite actors, and we haven't done a Tim Curry movie in a while, but I wanted to get back to some of those. Now, this Dungeon Master's Guide cleaned up the rules and everything, and it's a functioning Dungeon Master's Guide, but it still doesn't have anything on the first edition one. So I would actually use the second edition Player's Handbook and the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, and I kind of mixed and matched everything that I liked. And let's see. Yeah, it is. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is totally nuts. And just as she used to actually be a vampire. Got cured, huh? How'd you change back? Yeah, there you go. There wasn't anything bad. I got a couple of these. I do have another second edition Player's Handbook, but it's in like a leather skin, and if they were really popular for a while, but if you put them on the book and you left them all there for a while, you couldn't take them off without damaging your cover. It just stuck right to the cover. And
Yeah, I
it was
remember
black.
that.
It was nice. It was really cool.
Yeah, the dragon
cover.
skins, those were cool, but yeah, they got stuck to the covers.
What was neat about this Dungeon Master's Guide, though, aside from cleaning up the rules and making everything a little bit easier for a Dungeon Master to follow, was that it had a lot of different things about how to run NPCs in here, which I thought was cool. So each edition added its own little bits and pieces to the game system. Now, before they came out with a monster manual in the second edition, what they did was they had these, what they called monstrous compendiums. And they basically had like loose leaf sheets for a 3-ring binder. They were 3-hole punched, and you were supposed to create your own basically monster manual out of the loose leaf binders. And it was called the Monstrous Compendium, and that was okay, but it was actually really kind of annoying. Let's see. Rev Rat says, if you end up going, make sure you stand up when they call for Rocky Virgins.
That makes me scared.
Like in Daybreak, I had to bathe in sunlight and jump in water before you burned up. Yep, that would work. Let's see, yeah, man, that is fun as heck. I would love to go see a live showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show. If they ever have it in my area and I hear about it, I'm probably going to go see it if I have the money. You remember the binder, Ray? It was interesting, and I have them. They're in my storage unit, but it's like they don't
store
well.
And they're heavy.
And they're heavy, yes. Bobby's back. Well, I didn't know you left,
They're
Bobby.
also not very practical for everyday use either, or weekly use, because the pages would come out of the 3-ring binder thing really easy. Those binders are actually really good if you want like one monster out of it and put it into your whatever you're running. If you have just the one monster or whatever.
For the campaign,
but other than that, yeah, those books were like just like huge and heavy, and you'd be worried about tearing the page out and stuff like that. So
in general, I had a campaign,
but cool on the you can add stuff to it.
This is true. In general, I had a campaign folder for every campaign I ran. So if I wanted to put stuff like that in there, it was neat for that. But for having an actual monster book, it really wasn't. So later on, they did come out with what they called the Monstrous Manual, and they compiled excuse my language, but a shit ton of monsters in this book. And they cleaned them up and made it look really nice. And the format of this is really good and easy to follow. And I dig that cover.
I like the black cover one.
Now, I'm going to show this a bit later because later on they brought it out in a nicer format even. Yeah, I have 2 more of these. So, but yeah, I love the monster books. Now, the first expansion to let me see here. We do this right. To the first edition was Forgotten Realms Adventures. So like they did Greyhawk, but they had kind of gone over from at the last of first edition and almost all of second edition to the last. Forgotten Realms was their premier campaign setting that they focused on, and most of their modules and everything came out was for Forgotten Realms. And so Jeff Grubb and Ed Greenwood put this together. Nice little campaign supplement for any dungeon master. It was really cool. Let's see. Which one was the best book ever? This one, Victor? I agree. This is a really good book.
I think he was saying that during the Monster Manual.
The Monster Manual, the Monsters Compendium. I love the Monsters Compendium. Like I said, I have 3 of them. Bobby likes monsters. Yeah, okay. Victor likes drawing monsters. Let's see. Yep. Everybody likes monsters, mostly werewolves. I like werewolves too. I'm more partial to
Look who
vampires.
just joined us.
Well, we'll get to that previous book. Oh yeah. I think we covered that. We got Spine Six, Mr. Sith Lordly in the house. Welcome, sir. It is Dungeons and Dragons time. Now, like I said, the intro video I had, that's already up. But the tribute video, if you missed it earlier, will be up in about an hour and a half here. Because let me see. Well, it's less than that now. So it's a little over an hour. It'll be up. And so you'll be able to check that out. And it's basically all the covers, all these covers compiled into one video. I think I did pretty cool, and I put some music to it, and I used pretty much the same music in both videos, but I thought it was pretty good music for AD&D. So let's see.
I thought it was neat too.
Ray says he had a friend that had the Dragonlance. Now, Dragonlance Adventures is one of the only first edition, the orange sidebar covers that I don't have. I do want to acquire that. So I'm only missing 2 of the first edition books, the Deities and Demigods, and the Dragonlance Adventures. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thanks, Ray. Because I meant to mention it, and I totally forgot. Spine Ports. Everybody pretty much just saying hi. The music was really good. Thank you, Bobby. I'm really digging this this AI generator for music. It's
I
helping,
love
helping things out a lot.
Suno.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right. So now, when they updated the Legend of the Lore, I didn't think this was as well done as the original. Even the updated version, this version of Legend of the Lore is good, but it seemed to have less deities in it from myth and mythology. I had your Greek and your Norse myth, and Finnish myth was in the original, and it wasn't in here. They did have they carried a lot of stuff over, but not as much. They didn't carry everything over, and it was kind of sad. But it looks nice, and it's put together better. I have to say that. So, like I said, each book adds a little bit to the system and made it what it is and was. Deities is your favorite book for nostalgia purpose? Yes, Deities and Demigods. I agree. I still want to acquire one of those in good shape. Bobby says it's awesome. Let's see. Set the OG one with the Cthulhu stuff in it. Yeah, Cthulhu and Bell the Bony. Yep. And I had a Deities and Demigods, a copy of Deities and Demigods without it. So I was trying to acquire one at the time, and I went ahead and sold my Deities and Demigods without it because I had Legends of Lore, and it was a nicer cover. At least I thought so at the time. But now, hindsight is bliss. I should have kept the older one, Let's see. Spytech says he got that one, Victor. Nice copy. Paid $300 for it a few years back. That sounds about right even for today. I did like this book. This was sort of like their version of Unearthed Arcana, but it was strictly for magic purposes. It introduced the Wild Mage, and some of the spells they came up with in this book were just really, really cool. Tome of Magic is definitely worth it if you were trying to go for a little something different with your magic, because it went into a lot of detail on how magic worked and how to cast spells. It was really cool. And then it had the random surge table for a Wild Mage that was really cool. Yes, hindsight is bliss, Ray. That's right. One of the nicer books that they came out with was the Book of Artifacts. They pretty much took all the artifacts out of the old first edition Dungeon Master's Guide, and some of them I think were in the second edition DMG as well. But they put it in this in a nicer format, and it was just so much easier for a dungeon master to get a hold of. And just go, hey, I got an artifact, and it went into how to create artifacts and relics. And I still use a lot of the rules that are in this today. Very, very good supplement for a DM, and there's no doubt it's by Mr. Zeb Cook himself. He put together some of the best second edition stuff. Now, for those of you Dragonlance fans out there, I do have a copy of Dark Sun campaign setting. Now, this is not the actual campaign setting, but it was called Dragon Kings, and I really like this book. Some of the stuff they did for dragons in here was just incredible, and the 10th level spells for clerics and magic users was just awesome. Because clerics only went to 8th level, and wizards only 7th or 8th level. I don't remember which. It's been too long now. And then
7.
Magic
They
users went
stopped
to
at
9.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this, it expanded them all to 10th level, both cleric and magic user. And some of the spells in here are just so bizarre out there. The things that they could do, but sometimes it takes like a week to cast, and it's weird. It's very, very interesting and very cool, though, to add this to the game system. And so we actually basically set up our spell system because of this book. Even though I got this book way later, I did like a lot of stuff that's in it. And this is probably the last AD&D second edition hardback that I acquired recently. I still do want to pick up the Deities and Demigods and Dragonlance Adventures. But I pretty much have everything else. And like I said, I have a couple more of these. And the reason why I do is because they're different covers, actually. This is when they rebranded the system with black covers and updated the second edition to just Advanced Dungeons and Dragons again without saying second edition on it. This was the monster manual they put out before that, the Monsters Manual. And then later on, they made the cover match and made it more to the style, which I thought was really nice looking. So I was happy to get a copy of this like this. And the way they did the cover was just so cool. Such a nice update and tribute to the original Monsters Manual cover. Let me see here. Victor Sales. Let's see.
I was answering him.
Okay, Kristen Jake. Study Kendo. No, he has not studied Kendo, Victor. He should study something like that. I've been encouraging him to go take fencing lessons because they do have them at the
he
college.
wants to take fencing at the college, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. He did take a karate class. Yes, he was in a karate.
I don't remember what kind of karate, but it was kind of a mixed karate, I think.
I remember he obtained like a green belt, purple belt. I don't remember which one was more advanced, but those are some of the ones. He was getting close to brown belt. So yes, he did study quite a bit more martial arts than I did, but he never could take me. So I'm a happy guy.
I took the classes too.
That's the one I wanted to look at last. What they did later on is they brought out these players' options books. And the first one they brought out was the campaign, the combat and tactics, which just added a lot of options for fighters with weapon specialization and everything that they introduced in the second edition. But this went into a lot more detail. This wasn't one of the books I used a lot. Let me see. Yes, he does. Jake has a great passion for swords. I totally agree with that. Ray's got brown shorts. Well, it helps in those situations, Ray. I'm sure you have brown everything. I don't know why, but I kind of imagine you walking around dressed like Steve Irwin, like you're there. Your zoo uniform, zookeeper uniform. It's weird, but whatever. Combat and tactics was decent. Skills and powers kind of added more like to things like that, and just made it so there was just a lot more options for both players and dungeon masters in the skills and powers for Magic. But the best player's option, in my opinion, that came out, and the one I used the most, was Spells and Magic. This had so many cool additional spells. If you can tell, we like Magic around here, Tiger and I, so we definitely use this book a lot.
Love Magic, and I love that our system has the ability to create our own spells.
Ray says his pants don't start out brown. Kangaroo onesie, yeah, that's about it. Yeah. You're now into books I never saw. Well, cool. I'm glad we can share some of these with you guys. This one, like I said, it just updated spells. It added a spell point system, and I was like, that's dumb. The way they did it, I was just like, that's dumb, and I still think it is dumb. But it led me to make my own because it made more sense to use spell points than having you memorize a certain amount of spells per level per day. It just didn't seem to work in a real role-playing sense that way.
Right? I feel like spell points is like how much magic you can retain and expel during a day.
Yep. So spell points, actually, the idea, the concept worked better, but the way they put it together, that was like different spells had different spell slot points, and it's like, well, why does any first level spell have more than one spell slot? Why shouldn't it just be one spell slot for first level, two spell slots for second level? I don't know why they made it so complicated. It didn't need to be complicated. So when we revamped it and did Lenharrow, we totally made it simpler for a player to use spells and spell points. Let's see. Jess is saying she has the art of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons fantasy game. I've
Right?
wanted that
Sounds
book,
like a cool book.
it is a cool book, and I definitely want to get my hands on it, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And when I had the money at the time, and I always forget about it when I do. It's like, oh. And then I see it again and go, man, I wish I'd have bought that book. Let's see. Victor says, Jess is an awesome book. I bought back in California. Yeah, I've looked at it many times, and I definitely want a copy. Well, thanks, Cool Gamer. We appreciate you being here with us. It's not in good shape. Well, a lot of my books aren't in good shape. But you can tell which ones I use more and which ones I use less and which ones are newer, that's for sure. As D&D was winding down and they were about ready to make 3rd edition, that's when they brought these books out. This was my favorite. It was the only Dungeon Master option that they came out with, the high-level campaigns. And I use this a lot still, a lot of the rules. They gave you rules for different levels of magic in different worlds. Like it was a magic-heavy world. They told you how it could work in a fantasy campaign. If it was low magic, if it was medium magic, no magic. It was really interesting, the things they did for this. Plus, they also set up in here how to make monsters tougher without just gimpizing them or just giving them more hit points. Or there's so many things you could do. It gave me so many ideas. It led me to actually doing stone skins on a zombie, which messed my players all up.
Is that where you got stone skins on a zombie?
Not in here, but some of this, inspired me to do that. Let's see. Spinetick says his bookshelf is full of AD&D through 5th. I don't have any of the 3rd edition stuff anymore. I had some, but I actually sold it all because I couldn't get into it. I tried to play it a few times, but I've talked about it before. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi.
Yeah,
Ignoble magic. I agree, Ray. Yeah, it kind of made me mad. It wasn't because it was a different system. Because it wasn't a bad system. 3rd edition wasn't a bad system. It just was so different that it made all of these useless. It really did. I mean, yeah, it made them reference books, but it was like, at least when 1st edition went to 2nd edition, you could still use all the old books, and it was relatively compatible easily with the new, with the 2nd edition's rule system. Now, at the very last, they brought out these 2 campaign options. This actually came out in a box set first, and I never got the box set, but a friend of mine had the box set, and we enjoyed it so much. You get to play dragons in this, and we enjoyed this so much. You can create a dragon rider that 9 times out of 10 was more powerful than the dragon, which didn't make any sense, but
kind of true.
It was still pretty cool. Let's see. Victor says his potion drinker goblins cause havoc amongst his players. That's what I'm saying. It created something called I'm pretty sure it was a Skyan. And you went through and you just made your monsters, just you gave them ages. It was really cool, sort of like vampires in Ravenloft. They kind of took that idea and made it towards any monster a DM wanted to, and it was really cool.
It was really cool because we were playing a high level campaign once, and Chris had 10 goblins. Okay, it's a high level campaign. You don't put 10 goblins in. But one dude thought, oh, these are just goblins. And he jumped in front of everybody, and in the first round got killed. And they're like, oh, these are normal goblins. It was funny. I loved it. I was like, dude, you guys are high level. Do you think we would give you regular goblins? No.
I love the arrogance of the player who jumped up. They were playing a really badass swordsman from our campaign, and he just got wiped out in less than a minute. It was like everybody just went, oh, shit. It was one of those oh shit moments. Let's see. Spine Tick says, I enjoy reading the lore, at least from all editions. Me too, especially Ravenloft. I'm just really into that. That's my jam. Let's see. The Desaturating 7. Okay. Are you talking about the Council of Worms? Yeah, Bobby, I'm sorry. I said a bad word. I do that on occasion. I'm not, when I'm on a live stream or in a chat, I don't generally swear that often. But in my real reality
Bobby,
world, I have a foul mouth.
He swears worse than a trucker.
I haven't really a lot lately since I started doing this because it's in
No.
my
He
brain.
corrupted me. No, he corrupted me, guys. Don't let anybody fool you.
Cabos.
Before I met him, I never swore. Like, never.
Let's see. Victor says a kobold with a vorpal sword.
Oh, dude, that's messed up.
Dude,
Oh,
the ideas the
I
high
love
level
it.
campaign book gives you just incredible.
Love it, Victor. Love it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, okay, no worries, Bobby. Yeah, exactly. No worries. It's not a big deal. I think the only bad word is saying the Lord's name in vain, but that's just me. Now, the very last campaign book they came out with was Domains of Dread. And to me, it was the best. It was just Ravenloft in one handy little book. This is basically a player's handbook. It had all the stats. It was like you could roll up a character just using this book. It had non-weapon proficiencies. It had spells. It had everything you needed to play the game. And if you added an a player's guide to this, it just completed your game system if you were running a Ravenloft game. It was really cool. It's definitely my favorite one. They saved the best for last as far as I'm concerned. And then shortly after, they did a 25th anniversary, the silver box, which I have. It's really nice. And they had a lot of first edition and a few second edition things that they put together in there that was really cool from the whole system. Now, let's see. Jess claims the same lie. Never cursed before me. Let's see. I even cut a few pages out to hang them up, but I used it to draw dragons and stuff. Let's see. Jess, I would like some of your art. Yeah, she's been sharing some of her cool stuff on her channel. So, yes, sub up to Jess. I have Rudini's. I'm pretty sure I have Rudini's link in the chat. The comment and the description. If I can think properly. Let's see. No, seriously, to this day, I barely curse in front of my mom. This is true. I don't really either. Her mom heard me swear one time, and she was like, "I can't believe Chris swore." But I was respectful. It's my mother-in-law. And I love my mother-in-law. She's a great person. I know I'm one of those rare people. Let's see. We got Judy. See, wait. What did I claim? I missed something. No worries, Jess. Judy saying hi. Welcome. We're just talking about ADD's first and second edition. As far as I'm concerned, the best edition of the game is them put together with house rules, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about next. Is when we went to Lenharrow. See, Bobby, I want to see your best werewolf. That would be cool. Everybody said hi. And let's see. You can now see them all. There's only a few. None are awesome, but I like them, Victor. That'd be cool. Let me see.
Like my painted minis. They're not exactly awesome, but they're fun. I like them.
What this book did, it introduced character classes unique to the Ravenloft campaign. And a few races, like a Vistani, which was a gypsy. That was neat that you could play one of those in here. And nowadays, it seems like a racial slur if you say you want to play a gypsy. And it's like, but there are gypsies.
That's what they call themselves.
That's what they call themselves, yes. Well, and other people call them that too. And not the nice way, but, it's like saying we're Americans. And not every circle, that's a nice term. That's just the way it is.
Oh, I never even started painting that one, Victor. I'm scared too. Did you see the details on that elephant?
I can't wait till you do it. It'll be cool.
I know. I should.
Nice video of Darkness eating chicken. I saw that one too. That was cool. Okay, now, Tiger, you want to tell everybody how you feel about second edition? Because I've rambled on quite a bit for almost an hour now.
Yes, I know. Wait, I thought we were going to talk about how we got introduced to D&D.
Go for it.
Okay, so my first taste of D&D was in high school, and I had no idea that this was like a actual written game. See, when we played at school with my friends, we had dice and paper, and that's it. Nobody had any books. Nobody had any actual character sheets. These turkeys have been playing it for I don't know how long, and not a single one of them said, "Hey, there's some books you can find out how to play this game." No. We were just just roll this dice. Just roll that dice. And I'm like, okay, whatever. We're having fun. And we had a blast too. By the way, we also played some diceless games too. So we had fun. But I didn't know, like I said, there was something that you could actually go buy. And then fast forward a long time, a friend of mine invited me to a game because they would come over to my house and we play like board games. Her husband said, "Hey, there's this game that I play, and I think you'd enjoy doing it. You want to come over to my house and play?" And that is when I met Chris for the very first time.
It was kind of funny because her best friend, if I'm pointing the right direction, I was really good friends with her best friend's brother, and we had never met each other to that point, and we'd been friends with that family for a long time.
Yeah, she was my best friend from junior high school, so I knew her for a long, long time. And she got married, and they found me. I don't remember working at Target, and started reconnecting and stuff, and then brought me over to his game, and yeah, I got hooked the very first game. And Chris, when he started D&D, he had some of his own homebrew races and classes. So I think the first thing I made was a Catman, maybe a Ranger. I'm not 100% sure.
Hey, before you go on, I just want to say in the chat,
Tiger Woman.
Rev Rats was saying he was asking about shorts and how to and when to drop them. Sith Lorley, Spine Ticks, he has a lot of great advice for that. So
yes.
Pay attention when the man speaks because he knows what he says.
Yeah, he always gives a good segment on his shorts on when to drop them and how it goes. He always has a little segment in his Saturday show.
Let's see. Victor's saying, I remember going to KB Hobbies to read as much of the modules as I could back when I had a still trap memory. Me too, man. So I could run games for my friends. Yeah, I was pretty much the same way. Now my memory, I couldn't remember the name of a comic book when I went into the comic book store today. That one by Marvin Wynn, I wanted to go pick it up, and I'm like, it's Steve something or other. And I had just looked. It was on my calendar and everything. I wanted to go pick it up. And they didn't have it. They'd never heard of Marvin Wynn or Comics Gate or any of that. But, they just strictly catered to those bigger distributors. So
no, not a baby.
You are welcome, Sith Lordly. You shout us out all the time too, sir. So that's what we do. We shout out everybody. And I got lots of links in the description to most of my friends here in the chat. So, and those of you who are in the description and linked, and I've got a lot of people in there already. So it's kind of like I try to represent, man. I do. Let's see. Poor Cat Fan got into a car accident. Yeah, he'll be okay.
I heard.
Yeah, I checked that. I saw that on his community page, and I was like wondered yesterday. I'm like, wow, Cat Fan must not be feeling well. And then I didn't see him again. I'm like, I better go over to his channel and see if he posted something, and he did. So that's too bad. I hope he gets feeling better. He said he might have a concussion. Yeah, his car is done, Ray. I agree. It looked pretty bad. Yeah, just as she saw. Yikes. Yeah, and Vic says, yeah, tell him I hope he gets well soon. I already did, man. A lot of people have. He had a lot of comments on that community page. So, because everybody likes a little hot tamale. Let's see. This past Sunday, I crashed my car too. I'm sending you prayers to him. Well, hey, Rev, we send prayers your way too, sir. I'm sorry to hear it. We're having car problems ourselves, but we didn't get in a wreck.
Yeah, ours died. No, we didn't get into a wreck, but it died on the street.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see him Saturday, Victor. That would be cool. But he said he was going to take the rest of the week off. Yeah, dang, I agree. Dang. Car troubles are the worst, man. But anyway, anything you want to add, Tiger, before we start talking about how we got to Lenharrow?
In pertaining to what?
How you got into D&D.
Dude, I have to tell you guys, it was very strange because in Chris's group, I feel like I was the first girl gamer. and the guys were all crazy, man. Like, oh my gosh, it's a girl. It's a girl. It was, and it's really it's even funnier because later on we ended up with more girl gamers than guy gamers.
Yep.
It was like, oh, this group has a girl gamer, so all the girls came over.
Well, every time I had role played with a girl, they generally turned out to be, at the time, better role players. Now it's kind of an even mix again, but it seemed like girls that wanted to play wanted to role play. It was they were really into it.
Yeah, we call the guys who only went in combat a role player.
I got something here.
Cute kitty.
Here's your little Luna giving us a visit.
Luna.
Hey, you want to go see Shannon? Go see Tiger? There you go. Anyway, sorry about that.
She's not
Let's see. Are there many girls there? Yes, sir.
Right?
Let's see. Sorry you had a wreck too. We'll pray for you. Let's see. Mine was kind of an easy crash, but it still snapped the wheel hub off. The strut bent a lot.
Oh, strut. Oh, no.
Yeah, struts can be expensive to replace. Well, they've never seen a girl so close before. That was probably true back then, Ray.
Oh, no. And I found out later that they were actually competing for my attention. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, we like our little Luna off. She's a little brat, but I love her to pieces.
Totally is.
Physically uninjured, but I'm shaken up. Well, that's good to hear, buddy. I'm sorry to hear that you got in a wreck, though. Let's see. Broke it good, Rev. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. All right. So when 3rd edition came out, and I've kind of talked about this in my AD&D video, AD&D video. What happened was we had all these books that were useless, and I had spent literally hundreds of dollars on modules and rule books, and they were just kind of useless. I mean, I could convert a module, no problem.
I remember. Yeah, I remember the day that they announced it, and they set out a free pamphlet for everybody on how to convert your character from 2nd edition to 3rd edition. And we picked that up, and we're like, wait, what? Because everything went flip-flop and opposite, and you're like, huh? You know? And Chris was funny, too. He goes, well, this looks like it'll make a great video game. Which, by the way, 3rd edition is awesome in video games.
It is. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a bad system. It still isn't for me. A lot of people love it. And 3.5 made it a little bit better. But and we did play with a friend who ran a 3rd edition for a while.
She ran a good game, too. It was awesome. But
they were fun games. And it wasn't that.
It was too easy for us. Us old gamers, it was too easy. They gimped out some of a lot of the monsters, the main monsters. They gimped out a bunch of them, and your character was like super powerful. We came up and okay, she knocked some stuff over. I don't know what. Anyways, so we came over and we were able to kill like what Knights of the Round Table with all those special like feats and things, and we're like, what?
Yeah, I was playing an orc, and Sienna was playing a wizard, and we wiped out the Knights of the Round in like 2 minutes.
And we're like, I think the system's a little broken.
Yeah, some of the skills they had were just a little overpowered.
I think it's broken.
Ray asked, why not just keep playing 2E? And in a way, we kind of did. And we did for quite a while.
Yeah.
Let's see. Spinetick says he plays 5E to bring in new gamers and subs to a YouTube channel. But 1E for nostalgia. Yes, sir. I totally agree. So what we did was, like you said, we kept playing 2nd edition. But we had house rules that with different classes and different races, and I started making so many things. We had our own campaign book, and I've shown it off on this channel before. And if you're in the Discord, I do have it posted somewhere, my Dwarf Player's Guide, for you guys to look at and use. It's for AD&D 2nd edition rules, really, and it kind of cleaned up everything that was in AD&D 2nd edition and 1st edition to kind of put it together. I had all my classes and all the AD&D 1st and 2nd edition, except for the Assassin. I didn't really use that one. And the Thief Acrobat, with 2nd edition, when that came out, they had non-weapon proficiencies. That kind of made the Thief Acrobat useless as a class because you could get all that as a thief or even a bard. So it just made the class useless is all it did. It wasn't that the Thief Acrobat was a bad class. It just made it irrelevant because of the non-weapon proficiencies. But what we did was we started cleaning it up, and I had started running a campaign right before 3rd edition came out where I didn't use levels because I wanted to experiment with it because levels never seemed to work for me as a game master, and players would always go at always ask about levels and how that works in the campaign world, and it doesn't in a role playing sense. Levels are people don't talk about it. We do now because it's kind of a part of our culture, leveling up and all that. But in a medieval sense, they didn't talk about that. So we worked it out to where you could play a character without levels and still get more hit points, get more saving throws, get more spells, more, skills, and basically increase your character's power just like you would if you leveled up when you wanted to and at your pace, instead of waiting to level up where when you finally leveled up, you maybe got, as a wizard, maybe you got another spell or a couple spells, and then maybe some saving throws went improved, and maybe your attack rating, or what they call THACO in 2nd edition, to hit because they had ascending and descending armor class, and we went to ascending armor class because it made more sense. I mean, I fought it really hard for a long time because I was so used to THACO and I love THACO, but ascending armor class makes more sense. It just does.
It does.
You have an attack rating, you add it to your attack rating, and that's the defensive rating you hit, or armor class, whatever you want to call it. We changed the names to protect the guilty, and then they turned around and made it an open gaming license, and it really didn't matter. So, but we still had our system, and we'd been playing it in a while, and people loved it. And it took us a long time to decide to finally go, all right, we're going to put our system out. But we did. And Lenharrow works. It's to me, you're still playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's all D&D, whether you're playing Cyberpunk or BattleTech or whatever it is you're focusing on and you're playing. You're still just role playing. The rule system aside, if your game master is comfortable running the system, it can be Role Master. It could be any of the White Wolf games, Werewolf or Vampire. So long as your game master is comfortable running the game system, it's a fun game. We just played a game on SpineTick's channel on Sunday called Kids on Bikes, and
that was fun.
It was a Stranger Things type of setting where you're playing little kids, and it was awesome. And the Dungeon Master rolled all the dice, and we just played our characters, and we focused on role playing, and it was great. I had a lot of fun. You're still leveling up, Ray, in Lenharrow, just in different. It's different way, and in a different way. And you're not saying, "Oh, I got to wait till I level up." I don't miss leveling up anymore. I used to love leveling up. That feeling of leveling up, I just don't miss it anymore. Let's see. SpineTick says, "Yeah, that's just that's
my table."
That's out there with
ow! Hey! Ow! Come on, you!
cat
That's
attack.
my table. Ow!
It's all just D&D in the dark. Yes, I agree, SpineTicks. And I know a lot of people play Palladium and Marvel superheroes, which I loved. I mean, it's just a different way to play role play, and whether you want to be a superhero or a sci-fi captain on a ship like Firefly, you're role playing, and so long as you're comfortable with the system as a game master, then the game should be fun, and that's our rule number one: fun. So with D&D, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still playing the same game. I'm just using my house rules, and my house rules are a little different, but it works for me. And we want to share it, and we hope it works with you guys. Because I took everything I loved about role playing. Tiger took everything she loved about role playing, and we put it in this system. And so, to me, as much as I love Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and regular old Beckby D&D, we're playing Lenharrow, but we're still playing D&D in our hearts, and that's just the way I see it. It's always going to be, no matter what they do to it. Wizards of the Coast could trash it all they want, or change it all they want. Dungeon masters, game masters, whatever referee is what we call it, whatever you want to call it. That's what Gary Gygax called it, was a referee. It's in essence, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. No matter that's what it is. It's a role playing game, and I'm very passionate about it. And I hope you can tell that. I'm sure you can. We'll be rambling on. And Tiger loves role playing, and we love hanging out with people who just enjoy gaming. And if a referee wants to run a
Yeah, if
different
I don't
game,
have to pick up any
yeah.
dice, I'm cool.
Let's see. Revrat says White Wolf was great because we were very loose with the rules. What I didn't like about the system as a game master and as a player was all the dice you roll, and you have to get all these successes, and it's like that's fine. I'm one of those game masters who goes, okay, you roll a die. If you hit, you hit, or you succeed or fail on that one die roll. Now, if you like the fact that you roll different successes and multiple successes, and that works for you, great. Do what works for you as a player and as a game master. You got the game master has to fill the table and the players and know what's going to work for them. Let's see. Spinetick says, for YouTube, I prefer rules and stats, lax system, and more role-playing entertainment. Like you said, Logan, Kids on Bikes was fun. It was great. It was fantastic. And I don't even know if the game system itself is great. But Chris, our celebrity game master, he was incredible. He was a great game master. I really enjoyed playing in his game. I enjoyed hanging out with the Spinetick's crew and GP Venom, Dave Collects, Spinetick, Seth Lordley. It was just fun was had by all of us. We just enjoyed gaming, and Phil's Treehouse was in there with us too. And just great. It's a great game. And if we can do that on a monthly basis with each campaign, which is what we're trying to do, we're going to be playing every weekend. At the start of the week for us, Mondays on most game sessions, and Sunday once a month. And then I'll be on GM Cody's games every other Sunday, and he runs ADD Second Edition, and that's what he's comfortable with. That's what he loves the best, and that's where we clicked as game masters and players. And so check his channel out too. He puts out some awesome stuff. Let's see. Jess says, "Yep, I think you should do Kids on Bikes as a regular, bi-weekly show." I'd be down for it. I don't know about that often because of all the other games that I run and play. It was cool. I don't like to live stream more than once typically, but that was cool. One shots are great, and it's just you could get together, have a lot of fun. But campaigns are awesome too. And Dave Collects was hilarious. I'm the smart one.
Oh, I love him. He's riding his bike.
I think Luna wants to come out here. She's probably going to drop the barrier on me.
He's in trouble.
Next one shot is going to be a Goblin Meat Grinder comedy. That should be fun. Okay, okay. Phil's wig was cool, and he had those glasses the whole time. That was yes. Everybody just had a really great time, and that's how role playing should always be. When we get together just to play Lenharrow, you don't have to take it seriously, but you can if you want to, and it's cool. However you want to play as a group and a game master. That's cool, so long as you're having a great time.
Right? We had a gamer once. He wanted to run a game for us, but because Chris named his character something silly, he decided not to run for us. And I'm like, dude, it's called a game. And sometimes we have to remind our players that too, because they get too serious. Like this is all pretend things we're getting. Some person plays a thief and steals one of their things. They take it personally, and it's like, it's a game, not real game.
It's always the most fun live chat interaction. I agree. Live chat interaction, I think it enhances the role-playing experience. Now, don't get me wrong. I love sitting around a table and gaming, and we just don't get to do it that often anymore. But the interaction with the chat, like right now, talking to you guys, this is awesome. I love this. This is what made me really want to do YouTube, is this live interaction with the chat. And let's see, Ray says, wait, Rev wrestling is fake. Oh, that's funny. It was fun trying to figure out what was going on. Yeah. What was that, Tiger? Yeah, I can't hear you. Are you muted? Yeah, you're muted. You muted yourself.
Okay.
I think you're good. Yeah.
Oh, you sound louder too now. Can you hear me?
You were muted. Yeah, I can hear you now.
No, this ran out of power.
Oh, yeah. It happens.
No, I know, but
Oh,
so you still hear me fine though?
yep. I hear you good.
All right.
So when we game, like this coming Monday, we're going to be playing our longest running live play game is Ravagers of Carnage. And it really doesn't matter, you know. I mean, I do have an overall plan, but I let the players play the game, and everybody sits down and has a good time, and we just relax. And I don't try to present an atmosphere of, ooh, you got to do this, you know. I mean, and that can be cool, and if that's what you're into, but just play the game and
Dude, you
enjoy
totally sidetracked us. We're all in hell now.
it. Hey, Patty
Hi,
Fish,
Patty Fish.
how you doing? Welcome. We're just about wrapping this up. We're just discussing how much we love role playing, and what was cool about AD&D Second Edition was it inspired pretty much everything else. I mean, you can say what you want about it. You can say it's the most horrible game system ever. And in some ways, you're right. It's very primitive. It's a very simple system. But that's what made it work. And some people think it's more complicated. But that's only because you're used to what's going on now in gaming. Fifth edition presents the game system in a really good way. And I could play fifth edition all day long, but I'm just comfortable running Lenharrow. I got so used to running Lenharrow that that's what I run. But I like to play other games. You know, if we're down for one shots, I'm down. You know,
Right.
see, your personal best character was an
I was gonna
NPC.
say, you got to put that one on there.
I agree. I've created so many characters on the spot that just I've turned
Chris
into
has
characters
made
that are
some
really cool.
seriously interesting NPCs. Matter of fact, we have one called Fast Eddie that likes to follow us around sometimes.
And he actually, I'm
And
going
he
to be
sets up
putting
a
him
shop,
as
an actual shop. Well, was it? We were in Castle Ravenloft, and he was in the what is it?
He was in the courtyard.
He was in the courtyard. So we walk into the courtyard, and there's this shopkeeper with a shop open. We're like, huh?
I just love introducing him into the game, and I've made him a regular part of our Heroes of Haven's Road campaign, which we're putting together. It's going to be our first campaign book, and there's a lot I want to do to it before we actually put it out. Not just maps. I mean, yeah, Tiger's working on some maps, but I want to update the art, and I want to update the way the book looks, and I probably have Katie Robbins do that because she does such a great job on our light edition.
Right.
That I wanted to see what she could do with our enhanced edition too, because the light edition is great, but you know it's just it's a basic version of the game, and once you go beyond that, you know you want to excel beyond that, and the enhanced edition you can do both. So.
What's even more interesting, guys, is after the enhanced, we actually have advanced stuff too.
Let's see. Victor says I took a 3-year break from playing my own game system, but we started up a game a few months ago. Cool.
Nice.
I'd love to see. Check it out. Let's see. When is Lenharrow 3E coming out? Well, honestly, it has evolved to what it is now, and I don't ever want to change the system. To me, it's technically the second edition of our game system, so it's kind of funny that I love the second edition of AD&D more than anything else. I can see us adding things to it, like we're doing the Splinterscapes with the military action game. But overall, it's basically always going to be the same game, and I don't ever want to change it because that's what I'm comfortable with running. And if people are used to our system, that's what they're going to want to see every time. When we put out a new campaign book, we don't need to put out a new rule system. We'll just keep the same rule system, and people can get that rule system, and they can always apply it to whatever books that we put out for Lenharrow, and it's going to work. It's going to be compatible because I know how it made me feel having all these books, and then they were useless. And they put out a ton more. And as a collector, it's awesome to have all these books out there. Third edition, fourth edition, fifth edition. I have quite a few of the fifth edition books, but I don't play it. You know, as a game master. I mean, I would play it as a. I've actually never played a fifth edition game, so I've got the 2 starter sets, and I was going to run one of them. Very cool box sets, I have to say. So they are doing good things. Let's see. Patty says hi to everybody. And let's see. Victor says in the original game there was Sith, but we reworked the system for general audiences. Oh, that's cool. Like Jedi and Sith. That's cool. So is it kind of like a Star Wars type game, Victor? Because I have played several Star Wars games. My favorite character to play in Star Wars years before they had a Mandalorian was a Mandalorian. And I played a Gamorrean guard Mandalorian.
Yeah, he did. It was cool.
Yeah,
I played a Wemmick Jedi.
It is nice to have a game master who is flexible, but yet firm. there's one thing about you being open and giving players options, but you can't also, as a game master, you can't let them walk all over you, otherwise the game isn't fun for everybody else. That's the fine line a game master plays, is they have to balance the game so it's fun for everybody at the table. And I like to try to give all my players their moment in the sun, is what I like to call it. Their 15 minutes of fame, as it were. Let's see. He made it rated PG. Sometimes it gets a little beyond that. PG does sell more. Let's see. Spinetix says, I'm slowly giving away all my Disney Star Wars stuff on Spinetix giveaways. And you know, do what works for you, man. And we love hanging out on Spinetix, and we're going to be there this Saturday as panelists, Tiger and I. We appreciate being welcome on as panelists, as guests every month, and we're definitely going to keep that up. So that should be a lot of fun. And tomorrow night we're doing our Fridays show, and we're going to be talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, and we got some videos we're going to premiere, and we're just going to have a good time tomorrow night too. And so I'm glad you guys all showed up tonight. But like I said, we're going to wind down here, and we're going to sign off here in just a bit. Yoru, the first game was more adult. Yeah. Sorry, I'm back. Oh, that's okay, buddy. Welcome back. Yep. Let's see. Saturday nights are for Spinetix, Bobby. I agree. Since I watched it the first time, I'm there. I haven't missed a Saturday night. Now, I hope I never do, but you know, life comes first sometimes. But yes, Saturday night is going to be packed. Bert will be on after this. So yeah, the following Saturday. So that'd be cool. And Fridays are from the Hill. Thank you, Bobby. We just like to have a good time, and we're glad you guys like to hang out with us and chat game and stuff with us. I like to do these Thursday night reviews, and I really haven't read anything to you tonight, but the way I see it is we kind of read to you from our hearts about how we felt about the AD&D game. There's no story to AD&D because you make up your own story, and so that is what I love about AD&D.
Right, that's the essence of role playing. Is you and your friends develop the story together.
That would probably be the case, Bobby, is if I was sick or not home, like I had to be somewhere else for whatever reason.
Yeah, like parent-teacher conference or something.
Okay, she's playing with her mouse back there. I was like, "What the heck are you grabbing at?" Hey, some random dog. How you doing? Good to see you. We're about to sign out of here, but we're glad you showed up. Hope you watched the replay. We had a lot of fun stuff. We played some videos in here. Our intro for this was really good. And our tribute video to AD&D showed a lot of covers to these hardback books that we showed off tonight. Oh, definitely thanks for being here, Victor, and I hope you take care too. And let's see. Thanks, Seth. Appreciate it. Yep. Seth takes good care of us over there on Spinetix, and I try to do the same on Friday nights. Hello, Kate. How you doing? She's just got off work, so I'm glad you caught us at the tail end, so we can at least say hi. Hey, Rando. Everybody saying hi and bye. Rev Rat says, have a great night, everyone. Definitely. Thank you for joining us, guys. If you watch this in the replay, thank you. I hope you enjoyed our opinion, really, about AD&D and how it came about into Lenharrow. And the way I see it is, it's all D&D. It's all D&D, baby. If people can have a different opinion, and that works great too. Good night, Blue Chick. Cat vomit. Yeah, you did. You slightly missed it, Kate, but that's okay. Yeah, who vomited? Oh no. When you got cats, that happens sometimes, and dogs. Yep, I saw that coming. Hey, I guess we're gonna have a new clip, so I'm just gonna leave that like that, and we're gonna say good night. Yeah, I'm all right.
He's wrong.
I told you she was going to knock it down on me. You guys have a good night, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow night. Take it easy, and I'm going to get this thing off my head. Good night.